I'm Huon Hooke, and this is The Real Review. The wine we're tasting today is Vale Gewürztraminer from the Freycinet coast of Tasmania, 2018 vintage. So the backstory to Vale is that, like a lot of the wine properties down the east coast of Tasmania, this property has been in the hands of the same family since the early to mid 19th century. A lot of these properties began as grazing properties and mixed farms, cropping animals and so on. But then when the 20th century came along and wine became popular, quite a lot of these people planted vineyards. And a few others in the district, Milton, Kelvedon, Lisdillen, Gala Estate, and of course Freycinet. Freycinet Vineyard itself is not an old family property, but all those other ones are. But they're all in the same area of the east coast, not far from the Freycinet Peninsula. So this one is called Vale Freycinet Coast Gewürztraminer. It still is the family property of the Lyne family, L-Y-N-E, who came there in the 1920s, I believe, 1926. And exactly 160 years later, pretty amazing, Rodney Lyne, who still runs the place today, established a vineyard in 1986. And his son manages it today. That's Tim Lyne. And if you go to Vale, you can find their cellar door sales is in the very old convict-built stone stables, which was built there in 1842. So it's quite atmospheric. There's a bit of a museum in there, a few old bits and pieces in there. It's a good place to go and visit. Freycinet Coast, of course, is a beautiful part of Tasmania, very, very scenic, very picturesque. You see it on all the postcards. It is a gorgeous place. The Lyne family planted, I think, the usual Tassie suspects there, Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, but also Pinot Gris and Gewürztraminer, two very aromatic varieties. Strangely, they don't produce any Riesling, because Riesling can produce wonderful wine in that area. But not many people in Tassie grow Gewürztraminer, but they do, and I think they do a wonderful job of it. Well, the first thing you notice is the colour is it's not as pale as a lot of, as Rieslings possibly would be at that age. Gewürztraminer tends to have a bit more colour. The skins, when they pick the grapes nice and ripe, have a lot of colour, have a pink, almost pink colour to them. Let's have a sniff. And that's very, very typical Gewürztraminer. Very spicy, very fragrant, very aromatic, but it's got this kind of lychee character. Lychee is, to me, the most significant indicator of Gewürztraminer character. You can say bath powder, talcum powder, a vase of fresh flowers, who knows, gardenia. In Sydney, where I live, frangipani is quite a common tropical flower that we have, which often reminds me a little bit of Gewürztraminer. The other thing is viscosity in the glass, because Gewürztraminer is usually quite high in alcohol, and they're quite high in, and therefore high in glycerol, and that's what gives the oiliness to the wine. Let's have a taste. Yum. That is a delicious wine. It's very mouth-filling, intense, rich, full-bodied wine. It may have been in some old barrels, but oak is not really a part of that wine. There is richness, there is alcohol, there is glycerol, there is this rich oily mouthfeel, this weightiness to it without being heavy or clumsy. Beautiful intensity, resonating finish that goes on and on and on. It's probably reasonably high in alcohol, but it's certainly not spirity and hot on the finish like wine can be if it's too high in alcohol. Really, really smart wine. A very strong flavour, very assertive, distinctive flavour. It's a flavour that even the most inexperienced wine drinker can come along and enjoy the first time they try it. The wine is really nicely balanced. It's not sweet. at least not on the aftertaste. There may be a touch of residual sugar there. It's hard to tell because the wine has a lot of fruit sweetness to it. But the aftertaste is clean, dry and refreshing. So it's not a wine that relies on sweetness, even though some Gewürztraminers are really quite sweet, but not this one. So how do we rate this wine? We scored it 95, which is a gold ribbon score. We thought it was exceptional wine and we thought it was very good value for money. It's $30 a bottle. So it's a top rank wine and it's number one, would you believe, out of the 18 Gewürztraminers from that vintage that we tasted from across Australia. We asked the winemaker, Barry Kui, I think is how you pronounce his name. Sorry if it's not correct, K-O-O-I-J. And he suggests Northern Thai chicken curry. Northern Thai chicken curry. I don't know how spicy that would be, but I reckon this wine could handle a fair bit of spice. It's that kind of wine. So, drink it and enjoy.